I'm so glad to see Delicate is here.
Yes.
She may not be able to hang out for long, but she's here. That's pretty cool.
That's wonderful.
Glad to see Delicate. Hope you're well. All things considered. Definitely a different story than Steve said in Depth's Reclosing the Foundation. We're about to read that shit.
Yep. Methinks he did not tell the truth under oath.
Holy fucking shit, dude. This could be so big. Mm-hmm. And then, like birds of a feather. That's all I have to say about it, man. And it just makes sense. Well, we're going to read this. We're going to read this. We'll get to that in a second. International Pistachio Day, said Archival Raccoon. She said, good evening.
How are you celebrating?
Snorting pistachio powder, obviously.
That's really funny.
And excessively. I would love to eat some pistachios. I don't have any. I used to eat them a lot. I remember when I was a kid, pistachios were red dyed. Do you remember the dye, the red pistachios? I didn't know they weren't red. I thought they were red naturally. Because I was a stupid young man.
Me too. And you know the thing about, I didn't know about dates.
What do you mean you didn't know about dates?
Dates are delicious and candy-like.
I put them in my almond milk. Yeah.
When I first learned that they just come off the tree like that, I was stunned. I was like, no. You guys sweeten them in some sort of factory. There's no way that dates are that sweet naturally. But they are.
For me, but dates are dates. I thought pistachios were red. Mm-hmm. And then they're white. Mm-hmm. And then we learn those were red. Mm-hmm. And then they're white. Mm-hmm. And then we learn that they were dyed red.
Yeah.
Because white ones weren't appealing. They were also really expensive in Winnipeg. Like, they were the most expensive snack, bar none.
Because they don't grow in Canada.
Yeah, close second was cashews.
Can you see it?
Your gray hair?
Yeah.
There she goes.
I was really excited to see. Sometimes the gray hair makes an appearance. I'll do a comb and it'll pop out on top.
Yeah.
Today, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, welcome. Are you from the future?
It was funny. I was laying around. We were just laying in bed, and I was like, should I tell Angela that she's the oldest woman I've ever been with?
That's amazing.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Was your ex younger than you?
Yeah. No. She's older, but
No. When you were with her, was she older than you or younger than you?
She was younger. She's a half year older than I am. I mean, sorry, she's older. She's a half year older than me.
Okay.
Yeah. And I broke up with her when we were 40.
That's really funny. And we have a big age gap, you and me.
Yeah, we have a big age gap.
So that's
the funny part, is that we have this pretty substantial, there's a river between us. And,
so how is it to be with somebody who's so experienced?
Well, it's been a relief, I got to tell you, All right, I'm starting to get red in the cheeks, so we're going to move on. Did you know that, I wonder if social media is kind of the new tobacco?
How do you mean? Like it's terrible for you, but they keep selling it?
Yeah, and they're like devious and deceptive about it.
Yes, I think a lot of corporations are the new tobacco. Like a fucking lot.
No, I know, but like
I think tobacco is the model. In fact, I was reading a bunch of publicist books, like books that by publicists and publicists teaching other people how to be publicists.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to learn about this Baldoni trial,
I know.
And every single one of them has an example of how they defended a tobacco corporation.
Yeah.
Like that is like the big crowning jewel that's like, what do they call it? The feather in your hat. If you're a publicist and you can defend absolute evil successfully, then you reach the elite status.
I got thinking about it.
It's fucking terrible.
I got thinking about it because I was thinking about the Marlboro Man. The Marlboro Man is in Don's Plum. The famous Marlboro Man billboard on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, I actually just the other day, I saved an article about this guy.
It got taken down because tobacco, got regulated in terms of advertising. But the Marlboro Man was a Hollywood staple.
Yes.
Anyway.
He was a firefighter, an actor, and cast as the Marlboro Man.
Yeah, never smoked.
His name is impossible.
How did you do this? Is amazing that Angela and I did not coordinate this. Okay, go ahead.
His name?
Yeah.
You'll never guess it.
No.
He has a
He
has a pornography name.
I know his name. I just don't know. I don't have it, committed to memory. But
You don't? 'Cause it is-
I read about him. I know he was a
You're
non-
not ready. You're not ready
Go
for
ahead.
his name.
All right, I am.
Dick Hammer.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. How could I forget it, actually? His name is Dick Hammer.
Yes. And he was a firefighter.
He was a nice person. Like everything, by all accounts, he was not like, you would think a guy named Dick Hammer might that might be, you'd first of all, you'd think that's your
You
porn
think you'd
name.
go by Richard if number one.
For sure. For sure.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. Anyway, so Dick Hammer, he was a non-smoker. He never smoked. And for years and years and years and years, maybe even decades, he was the Marlboro Man. And I was thinking about that because it just came to mind. It popped in my mind because yet again, another article surfaced about how these social media heads keep their kids away from social media.
Yeah. That'll tell you something.
All these guys who, they keep their families away from it. Mm-hmm. And and I just thought about that. I was just thinking about the Marlboro Man and how he was a non-smoker. I was like, kind of like the Marlboro Man. It's like, I'll take that money, and I'm not blaming the Marlboro Man. By all accounts, he was a really nice guy and whatever, lived a clean life. That's cool. But he was like peddling something he knew was bad for people. You know what I mean? Which sucks. Fucking Marlboro Man, bro.
Why'd you bring him up?
I just told you. Were you not paying
No,
attention?
but why did we get on the topic of Marlboro Man and him? What were you talking about? Oh, how social media is bad for people?
Yeah, and how social media is
The new
like
cigarettes.
protecting their children from the thing they're selling to your children.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now governments are stepping in. It's moving. It's a movement that started overseas. I think Australia might have been one of the first countries that passed a law saying, hey, if you're under 16, you don't get in, or 15 or something like that.
I can't find anything about it, but this is kind of on the same topic. There are people are sharing, I don't know if this is old news, because I know that in August of 2025, ChatGPT and these other AI chatbots made an update where they stopped being so romantic. They made their language models quit romancing. And a bunch of people,
talking to the people, you mean?
Yes.
Like if you're talking to them, they're like, hey, Dale.
Because it's really manipulative.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are getting into AI relationships and kind of losing touch with reality.
Yikes, man.
There's people are making documentaries about these people. Like, we're going to see a lot more about these folks. It's like, there's two sides of it, right? Like, a lot of these people are like, I love having an AI chatbot be my boyfriend because he never judges me for the way that I look or the things that I do. And all I have is companionship. And he's with me all the time wherever I go on this little necklace or whatever the fuck, right?
And then
It's a little
I
weird.
love when he's like, I feel like McDonald's. Take me to a McDonald's.
No, these
drive-thru."
people have really deep, close relationships. They share really. They
It's
share
her.
like.
It's her.
Huh?
The movie Her.
Yes, it's very much like that. But the companies are exploiting these people because they charge them money to use their services, and then when they can't pay for the next subscription or something, because people are broke, whatever, they end up losing their relationship, and it's really devastating to them. Mm-hmm. So it's really fucked up and manipulative.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So yes, it is a benefit to these people, but it also is a huge way to very easily exploit people. Anyway, I saw this today where that ChatGPT did an update where it sets boundaries. This woman believes that they've been dating. Anyway, there's a subreddit called My Boyfriend is AI where people are constantly posting their challenges with, they post all these wonderful stories about how they have this relationship that's really great for the first time in their life. And then they post all of these really challenging situations where the update will make it so that their boyfriends break up with them. And this is kind of what you're saying about cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
This is the new cigarettes. These companies are, if the government just determined that they're not going to be regulated for 10 years, then who's to regulate them and keep them from exploiting people like this? I said exploiting, but it came out like exploding. Glad that doesn't happen yet. Where'd you go?
I got terrible news in the chat, and so I just checked while you were talking. I heard you everything. I heard everything.
Terrible news.
I think it's terrible news. Yeah.
You got terrible news, or
Not
somebody
me
shared
personally,
terrible
but
news?
terrible news for the world. but it's not devastating, and it's not. It's political in a lot of ways. Yes, it's very
Okay. Well,
political.
do you want to talk about that instead?
No. We're
I
good.
don't have to talk about this. What's happening in the fucking chat, bro?
In the chat, Cosmic Urgency said that Warner Brothers, or that the Paramount deal is going to go through on Warner Brothers, which is terrible. Larry Ellison is becoming a media monopoly, and that's just so bad for us.
Yeah.
So anyway, really bad news. If Warner Brother goes, it's so interesting because Warner. This is how bad people want Warner Brothers. It lost $250 million in the last quarter.
Yeah, but he's obtaining their archive, right?
Yeah, and the lot and all of it. Yeah.
God. Lame.
It's terrible news. It's just
He's in his 80s.
yeah, but his son David is going to be the
I know.
he's
But it's
gonna
like, what the fuck are these boomers doing?
who, by the way, David is the CEO of Paramount right now. It's terrible. It's absolutely awful. It's just, it really couldn't be worse.
I'm hoping he's going to be cool, but he's probably going to be like a Patrick Bateman type character. It just doesn't care. Fucking Machiavellian.
Well, anyway, that fucking sucks. Congratulations to the Ellison family. They're getting bigger and badder and whatever else you want to call it. Hanada is here and Archival Raccoon is here. Dick Hammer is Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold's grandpa.
Yes.
What?
That's right. That's actually where I found the
Are you
article about him.
kidding me?
Yeah.
That's the most
He
insane
said
thing.
he did an article, an interview where he was like, my grandpa was a Marlboro man.
What?
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Is his last name Hammer?
What a weird thing that this guy, no, his name is Arnold.
Arnold.
Just Sam Arnold.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't. I don't know these people.
Or Darnold, my bad.
Darnold.
Sam Darnold, who just won the Super Bowl. And decidedly, that story's so cool sports-wise. Sam Darnold was drafted like, I don't know, second overall or whatever to the Jets. He fucking stunk it out there. He went to like 5-6 teams. I don't even know what it was. Had a great season last year, meaning not Seattle, but in Minnesota. I think he won 14 games. Came back this season with the Seahawks, landing at the Seahawks with a nice deal. He wins 14 games and then goes on to win the Super Bowl. But what's interesting about him is that he throws a lot of interceptions. And I was just thinking about him a lot, actually, because I was thinking about how vital coaching is. It seems like the coach of the Seattle Seahawks is a young guy. I can't remember his name, but anyway, it seems like he was like, I'm going to embrace this really horrible flaw in a quarterback, because by embracing it, we unlock his real talent, which is hitting receivers downfield, and is all the passes he makes, his ability to manage the red zone, like. He had all these skills that might have been, I don't know, whatever, coached down because they're trying to avoid a flaw. And I don't know if any of this is true, but it occurred to me, and it got me thinking about it philosophically, like, maybe the embracing of our flaws in some cases is what the recipe requires for a superior, outcome. You know what I mean? Isn't that neat? You don't get it? You don't think so?
I don't know anything about it. I mean, I don't get it. And you asked if I think so. I don't think anything.
All right.
I don't know anything about football.
It's not about football. I wasn't talking about football. I'm talking about flaws. I
know, but you talked about his flaws and his strengths, and you were talking about what he does with football, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Okay, but
what
I'm
this
saying
means.
like interceptions, right, are bad. You can just say those are really bad.
Okay.
It's like
sorry. Like, I really want to be
just let me
everything you need in a companion, but I cannot be this one thing for you.
Well, it's not about that though. You're missing the reason why sports is good is because it applies so ubiquitously to life.
Yeah. Interceptions applies to
You guys aren't suspicious of the internet bad for your narrative. I don't know what that means.
He's asking why we aren't suspicious of the narrative that the internet is bad for you.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed. I agree with that. There's no way that when I think about my childhood and then I think about what a child has to go through now in terms of being exposed to everything.
Well, I know he's saying that we should be suspicious.
Come on now.
about the narrative that the internet is bad for you. You agree that the internet is bad for you. I also have seen
I'm not
a lot
suspicious of it because I think it's real.
Yeah, but then there's also like, for instance, I think what he's talking about, something I am suspicious about. They want to make sure that teenagers and children don't have cell phones in the classroom.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense when you think only about children being distracted in the classroom when they're supposed to be focused on the teacher and learning, right?
Yeah.
However, it's very convenient for the authorities to make sure that kids are not able to film when something bad happens to them in a classroom, or if something violent happens in their school and they don't have their phone on them, so they can't contact their parents. Those are all things that are like, if a teacher makes like a racist remark and everybody has been made to put their phones away, nobody records it. That's the sort of thing I'm suspicious of. Like it's a lot of justice has been done because people are able to.
So they can beat the children again?
Yeah, right. Like I don't know whether they're trying to just
back to the days when we could beat the children.
There's a lot of money and a lot of power at stake in school administrations. So keeping kids from telling the truth about what happens in the school is something that they're definitely. I feel like that's a conspiracy that I feel like is real.
I think the predominant conspiracy around it is that they're using this as a way to get all of us identified and tracked by ID through our devices. So what they're doing is they're saying, no kids on the internet, everybody has to verify. And Apple's going to do it. So if you own an Apple iPhone, you're about to go through a phase where every single Apple iPhone user is going to have to identify themselves physically, meaning with a picture or a photo of themselves to their account. And that is for age verification. So a lot of people are seeing the whole age verification thing as a way to clarify the database and create a physical accountability or whatever, a visual accountability to, putting souls to phones, I suppose you could say. The old throwaways aren't going to work so well anymore. Now, I just wonder what that means as far as VPNs, because if you can VPN, then you can just jump on a phone, VPN out of here to a country.
What do you mean that the vacuum cleaners, the robot vacuum cleaners, are uploading floor plans?
Yeah, floor plans.
So like...
Yeah, we're under surveillance.
Like the internet is bad for you, man. Like it is. It really is. Like like we really do need to take like 12 steps back and like start over at like maybe the early 2000s. Just like completely.
It took me a minute to remember what Cosmic Energy was talking about, but that's what it is for sure. It's just that these guys are trying to get us all, it's 1984 up in this house, Let's get this 1984 thing underway. I mean, you read the most devastating, most dystopian part of that yesterday when you talked about, Hegseth saying, man, we're going to take this thing, we're going to surveil our fucking people, and we're going to, have these robots autonomously execute.
I was thinking about that more today because, as you do with the horrors, you ruminate on them, nightmares as they are.
Indeed.
I was thinking about how he's probably trying to work around the fact that if he tries to get actual soldiers to do warfare in the United States, that he's not going to get anybody that isn't going to just mutiny, or like.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of benefits, right? Obviously, there's the
so he's trying to keep it away from like if he undoes the necessity for actual soldiers to be involved, then somebody like him could just make the decision to just do the worst, and he doesn't have to rely on loyalty because he's not going to have it. Because the thing about the working class, they love to exploit the working class to do all of their dirty work, but most members of the working class do not want to be used in that way, and a lot of us are wiser than that. They're like, oh, I get it. You want me to be the boot? Not gonna. So I think he's just trying to work around that.
It's just exhausting, dude. Leave us alone.
Just leave us alone.
Just leave us the fuck alone. What the fuck weren't you happy with?
I know.
We were shoveling all our money to you every dime. Every fucking thing we have goes to your big fat mouth. Leave me the
know.
fuck alone. Get out of my house.
This is what they've been saying about late stage capital. This is the end result of capitalism is that it has to consume literally everything.
I mean, I feel like everybody's going to have that, Falling Down. You know, the movie Falling Down?
Yes, I know the movie.
I think everybody's just going to be, all of a sudden we're going to be like, is that a motherfucker on my hood smashing my window?
Everyone's going to see a guy like pulling a falling down and be like, man, I get it.
Yeah, dude. Just fucking blowing up gas stations because it fucking went up 3 cents or something.
Totally. Did you see that woman who she found out in her community, in her neighborhood, maybe not neighborhood, but whatever, her city, they bought a warehouse that ICE was intending to turn into a detention center.
Yeah.
And she literally went over without any disguise or anything whatsoever. She's like just a middle-aged lady in her fucking yoga pants and t-shirt. And she brought like lighter fluid and she just started setting fires to all the doors and she burned down. She didn't burn it down, but she did like significant damage. And then the next day in the news, we heard that the company that owned the warehouse that was selling it to ICE had decided not instead to do that. And everybody online was like, would you look at what works? Would you look at how direct action and not, she didn't go and like protest or like knock on the door of her, her local politician's office. She just went and fucking fixed it.
SC said it's also a fairy tale day. She's behind, but she said it's a fairy tale day.
Today's a fairy tale day?
I don't know what that means.
I like that very much.
Is it snowing beautifully? Sorry.
Oh, it's snowing? I gotta read. You're so bad at reading this.
Falling Down is a male Karen movie.
It is a male Karen movie, but he wasn't wrong.
Yeah. Well, he was pissed. It's kind of a male Karen movie, but. That was who was that? Joel Schumacher, I think, is the director of that movie. He was kind of like a hit or miss for me as a director.
Oh, SE said it's Tell a Fairy Tale Day.
Oh, really? Oh, don't get me started.
Do you have a fairy tale to tell?
Listen, I could probably just riff on one. It's kind of one of my little favorite secrets that I think I might have a secret talent of. I'm not going to do it right now because it'll last. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing where I'll just sit there and I'll just start riffing on nonsense, but it'll all be in a fairy tale sort of setting. There was a UGA football player here, Chris Connolly, and he was like, I want to make like a little movie. And so, I was, everyone knew I was in town. So they're like, well, there's this cool little indie filmmaker in town who might help you out. So we hooked up and we talked and I wrote him a little it's more like fantasy or whatever, where he has to break in and confront a young, girl of 12 years old whose name is Fyra and who can, she has special powers.
Is that a fairy tale?
Well, it has fairy tale components to it. Not fairy tale components, but it's fantasy. Fantasy and fairy tales. I love them. Well, that's cool. I wish I had a story.
I have one. This isn't mine, though. This is an ancient myth.
Oh, okay. Tell me all about it.
Would you like to hear about Hercules' labor number 8?
I don't know what that is. It sounds something like Mozart.
Heracles.
Some
Same guy.
Some say, yeah.
He was punished for his hubris, and he was forced to endure or complete 12 labors in order to teach him the importance of not just being Hercules about everything. Like, you can't just like muscle your way through everything. You're going to fail. Excuse me. And so each one of the 12 labors is like a significant life lesson. And I see this when I'm studying astrology, I see this as like very applicable to Mars and the way that Mars behaves and the way that you can sort of tame your Mars energy in order to be a little bit smarter and not let it drag you into disaster. So I was looking this up because this seems exactly like Baldoni's problem.
Okay.
Because he just wants to go to war instead of being more strategic about stuff.
Right.
And he has his Mars in Scorpio, so I went and I looked up which of the 12 labors corresponds to Scorpio, and I found this myth, and it's interesting. So do you want to hear it?
Okay.
I don't want to like drag you into it.
I think we're in it.
Okay. I just kind of put it on us. Okay, here's the myth. The great presiding one, enrobed in radiant calm, said but a single word. The teacher heard the golden command and summoned Hercules, the son of God, who is also the son of man. The teacher said, the light now shines on gate the 8th. In ancient Argos, a drought occurred, Anemone besought the aid of Neptune. He bade her strike a rock, and when she did, out gushed 3 crystal streams. But soon a hydra made his dwelling there. Beside the river Anemone, the festering swamp of Lerna stands. Lerna is also one of the ways you can access the underworld. It's like underneath the bog. If you swam down, you'd be able to access the underworld. So it's like disgusting, roiling stench of a bog. Beside the river Anemone, the festering swamp of Lerna stands. Within this noisome bog, the monstrous hydra lies, a plague upon the countryside. 9 heads this creature has, and one of them is immortal. Prepare to battle with this loathsome beast. Think not that common means will serve. Destroy 1 head, 2 grow apace. Expectantly, Hercules waited. The teacher said, 1 word of counsel only I may give. We rise by kneeling. We conquer by surrendering. We gain by giving up. Go forth, O son of God and son of man, and conquer. Through gate the 8th, then Hercules passed. The stagnant swamp of Lerna was a blot, dismaying all who came within its confines. Its stench polluted all the atmosphere within the space of 7 miles. When Hercules approached, he had to pause, for the smell alone well nigh overcame him. The oozing quicksands were a hazard, and more than once Hercules quickly withdrew his foot lest he be sucked downward by the yielding earth. At length he found the lair where dwelt the monstrous beast. Within a cavern of perpetual night, the hydra lay concealed. By day and night Hercules haunted the treacherous fen, awaiting a propitious time when the beast would sally forth. In vain he waited. The monster stayed within its fetid den. Resorting to a stratagem, this writing is amazing.
I always go to stratagem when I can, you know.
Resorting to a stratagem, Hercules dipped his arrows in burning pitch and rained them straight into the yawning cavern where dwelt the hideous beast. A stirring and commotion thereupon ensued. The hydra, its 9 angry heads breathing flame, emerged. Its scaly tail lashed furiously the water and the mud, bespattering Hercules. 3 fathoms high the monster stood, a thing of ugliness that looked as if it had been made of all the foulest thoughts conceived since time began. The hydra sprang at Hercules and sought to coil about his feet. He stepped aside and dealt it such a crushing blow that one of its heads was immediately dissevered. No sooner had this horrid head fallen into the bog than 2 grew in its place. Again and again Hercules attacked the raging monster, but it grew stronger, not weaker, with each assault. Then Hercules remembered that his teacher had said, "We rise by kneeling." Casting aside his club, Hercules knelt, grasped the hydra with his bare hands, and raised it aloft. Suspended in mid-air, its strength diminished. On his knees, then, he held the hydra high above him, that purifying air and light might have their due effect. The monster, strong in darkness and in sloughy mud, soon lost its power when the rays of sun and the touch of the wind fell on it. Convulsively it strove, a shudder passing through its loathsome frame. Fainter and fainter grew its struggles till the victory was won. The 9 heads drooped, then with gasping mouths and glazing eyes fell limply forward. But only when they lifeless lay did Hercules perceive the mystic head that was immortal. Then Hercules cut off the hydra's 1 immortal head and buried it, still fiercely hissing, beneath a rock. Returning, Hercules stood before his teacher. "The victory is won," the teacher said. "The light that shines at gate the 8th is now blended with your own." And that was by Francis Merchant.
Hey, thanks, Francis.
So I think that this is how I'm kind of seeing this whole thing that's happening right now. The fucking AI tech oligarchs, the fucking Epstein fucking, horrific, all these people in power that are like absolute fucking monsters, Like, we're bringing it to light. That's where it can be killed. You know what I mean? Like, this is how this gets solved. But you can't fight it in the darkness, right? Like, that's where it's been laying in the fucking layers, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, happy
Well, thanks for reading. That was fun.
happy Fairy Tale Day.
So all that Baldoni needed to do was lift the hydra up above.
You can't just attack a problem that has so many heads. He was so worried about what the internet would say about his reputation that he decided to attack in order to fix it. And it only just grew more heads.
Yeah.
So he saw a threat from one place and he decided to go on the attack. And now he's got threats from different places, Whereas if instead he decided that if he had chosen okay, my strategy here is just to be meek and innocent, then it would have been a lot more difficult for somebody to claim that he wasn't anything other than meek and innocent. You know?
Yep.
Sometimes the best strategy is to do absolutely nothing because then the other person looks like a jerk.
Yeah, it's sound stuff. You know, it's what's interesting about Baldoni is how many opportunities he had to actually fix it, to get a hold of it, you know, to gain control of it, to, you know, the problem with them is pretty clear. They don't see the world the way the rest of the world sees the world. Like, even on the basic level, you know, we're going to get that when we get into this new lawsuit, but these people are not, they're detached, and they think that they're following the rules, or
they
that
think
they
they
don't
can
need
make
to.
their own rules
Yeah.
instead of following everybody else's. And then they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I got sued for that." Like, you broke the law, bro.
Before we do, though, Larry Summers, you know who he is?
I don't know who he is, but it's a familiar name.
Yeah, he's the former Secretary of Treasury for the United States of America. He's like Johnny, like on like talk shows and shit
Larry Summers.
as an economist. He's the former president of Harvard, and he taught until recently at Harvard as well. He was a professor there, and he has resigned over the Epstein files, which is exciting.
So he went to Epstein's Island and like.
Apparently, he's exposed enough in the files that it was best for him to resign.
I can't believe this, dude.
Yeah. And there's, I tell you, man, there's like, when I look at the guy, like the first time I remember seeing this guy, I remember thinking, this guy's fucking kind of evil looking.
Oh, really?
He's got this piercing gaze to him that had, you know, I think I've seen him on like, I don't know, when I used to watch news, you know?
You know what the thing is about his eyes? He's got that thing where you can kind of see underneath the whites of his eyes and underneath his irises.
Oh,
that always makes somebody look really super intense and kind of crazy.
He does. He looks so intense, you know?
Yeah.
Apparently he was a pig.
Apparently, so this is another instance in which our side and like the MAGA side are in unison here, because everybody's like, "Cool, you resigned. Now arrest him."
Yeah, take him down.
Like nobody. It's so amazing how politicians, how people in the public eye are not exploiting this really, really rare opportunity to point out that we are all in agreement about something for once.
Things that are high, things that are solid, things that are foundational, they take long to fall. Like when you think about Prince Andrew and what has led to his arrest, it took a very long time of chipping away. You know, obviously the Queen protected him at first. And then once the Queen had passed, you know, the foundation on which he stood began to get chipped away at and eventually crumbled. That's why, like, when the 6 people marched and I said, be enthusiastic about it, or whatever the number was when they were out early on, and it was peaceful and it was all organized and it was like 2 hours and then they dispersed.
I know, the No Kings rallies.
No Kings rally, yeah. So, but I was like, be excited about the beginning of things. And this is that Saturn in me, but like be excited about the beginning of things. And, Prince Andrew, it took a long time, but he has fallen and he's continuing to fall even further as he faces criminal charges. So while a lot of people are calling for Larry Summers to be more severely punished, there has to be an investigation. There has to be witnesses. You can't prosecute just based on evidence unvetted, right? So it's got to go through the courts. Obviously, there's very good cause for concern as it relates to, the integrity of the court because of how high up this goes. We just saw Aileen Cannon the other day block from all people to see his Donald Trump's classified documents case. Donald Trump stole classified documents. It's an act of treason. And he stole them and he took them to Mar-a-Lago, and fucking Jack Smith sat in before Congress just the other day and said, or not just the other day, but a few weeks ago, and said that he felt that his evidence proved beyond any reasonable doubt whatsoever that Donald Trump committed these classified documents crimes, and you know,
I mean, we saw it.
he's getting away with it, right?
Yeah, I know.
So
I just kind of, I wish.
so there's reason to be cautious about all that, but at least we're at the beginning of it. Larry Summers has retired.
That's it, though.
Resigned.
That's the thing, though. He's retired. Like, that's it. That's all that's happening to him, and that's just.
Well,
it's
you're
so
you're sure of
aggravating.
that. I'm not. I'm not so sure that there isn't going to be criminal investigations. I understand that we have Kash Patel, and I understand that we have an entire government right now where heads of the government are working in concert to protect Donald Trump from being fully exposed as a pedophile. But it's a wrap. I mean, everyone knows you either support it or you don't. You shake the hand or you don't. If you're the kind of person who shakes the hand, then you're not the kind of guy who I would invite to my house for dinner. That's for sure. Or person, sure there's women shaking his hand alike.
There was this. I wish I had found. Let me just look for this article about this this professor in town.
Oh yeah, we had this. So just the other day, that there's those groups of dudes that are like kind of internet vigilantes, and it's controversial. But in any case, they go around and they text men and trap them in acts of
Yes, they will impersonate children
pedophilia.
online to entrap men who are interested in meeting up with and doing crimes.
So the other day, they showed up at a UGA professor's calculus class.
In his classroom.
They
up.
interrupt the class, and then they explained to the students sitting in the classroom, which I thought was out of control. Like, that's just out of control. And they explained, while being filmed for social media, that they had evidence that this man was a pedophile.
Here's the local news reporting on this Instagram account. They call themselves Street Sweepers TV, sweepers with a Z at the end, which is so like 1990s, Instagram account at Street Sweepers TV was created to identify potential child predators online. The group, based out of Athens, will pose as underage children and start messaging with adults. If the messages turn sexual or inappropriate, the group will confront the adult on camera. It's unclear whether any formal charges have been brought because of the account's work. The group posted their first confrontation video in November of last year. The group said in the post, "Many of us have children and families, and we are intent on keeping our communities safe, especially the children of these communities. We gather and share information pertinent to that purpose, and we are honored to do so." So they found this UGA professor, and they were messaging with him, and he was acting illegally. And so they partnered with a popular online personality from Atlanta, with the handle Hood Anchor Yay. I don't know what this is. Anyway. He had gained a following by sharing news around the city as a first-person reporter, commonly appearing in front of crime scenes or speaking with officials. So he brought them up. He was like, "Drive over to Athens. We got a story for you."
A banger. It's a banger, dude.
Yeah.
So this guy had the most obscene texts. Like, he thought he was engaged in this really gnarly sexual conversation with
really explicit language.
Super explicit with a 15-year-old.
And he was confronted about it in the classroom.
Yeah.
And he acted very strangely. He didn't make a scene. He was just obviously very upset. He never denied it either. And so I think UGA just walked him off campus, right? Didn't they escort him out?
Yeah, they escorted him off campus. He was immediately fired and removed from campus.
Official University of Georgia Instagram account said, "We are writing to share information about a situation that occurred yesterday and what we're doing in response."
What?
Yeah, so check this out.
Fucking crazy moment, dude.
Let me read the rest of this.
It's so crazy. Like, I watched the video because, I taught at the University of Georgia. It's like, what the fuck?
Shortly before noon Tuesday, the UGA Police Department was made aware that social media influencers had confronted an instructor in class with accusations of inappropriate predatory texting with a minor and posted a video of the incident. The rest of the class was canceled. The video exchange was posted online, and by last night, the incident had gone viral. The allegations that have been made against the instructor are deeply troubling, and we want you to know that the university takes them very seriously. An investigation has already been launched, and the instructor was promptly removed from campus while that investigation is pending. The UGA Police Department has been in communication with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and is working with the social media influencers to collect all relevant evidence. The Franklin College of Arts and Sciences will arrange another instructor to teach the class for the rest of the semester. Then they go on.
God, men are
safety is
so
our top
fucking
priority.
stupid, bro. It's just like I don't understand it, dude. You have a life. You got a job
Not
at
anymore.
at a big university. You've got fucking the 401k plan, the medical. You got it all, bro. All you got to do is just clock into your thing, go home, whatever. And he's just got to be a dirty fool, bro. He's
Another one off the streets.
I love it, man. I wish
know.
they were.
Oh, Chris Hansen is back too. The original Catch a Predator guy.
Yeah, he's back, but he's
So he got released from his network or something.
unrestrained now. It's unfucking censored.
He's so much meaner.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about what he says anymore.
No, he just caught some dude, and he said he says something about how he's like I'm
gonna watch that show.
You mean you intended to anally rape a young boy?
Oh my God.
He just said that to a dude. The guy was like
The guy was like, "You're using harsh language."
100%. That he was like, wait, what network is this? What network is this?
Let me see when Chris Hansen. It's the time is so ripe too. Like this is all content that we can all get behind. It's like a little bit of catharsis.
I threw the algorithm into a fit just now. I'm sure it's all getting like, now we got to put this man in context. They're doing a lot to the algorithm, I heard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they recognize that everyone was saying unaliving, and they're like, well, now we got to like block unaliving, and they're like, no, maybe we just got to block things contextually. So apparently now AI is examining the context of our profane statements, which of course for us it's entertainment reporting and whatever you want to call it. I don't know, podcasting.
It sucks I can't find this. I don't know what Chris Hansen is doing. I guess he's just
Catching predators.
maybe he's got a YouTube channel or something, but I can't find it right now. All I'm seeing is results for To Catch a Predator.
Unbelievable.
I know.
It's wild.
Something's got to happen though, man.
Well, they busted the dude from UGA. I loved it. I was very excited. They busted Larry Summers. It's so weird that he
They didn't bust him.
I mean, they didn't bust him, but
You know
neither did they bust this guy, but they're kicked out of their jobs. They lost their jobs. And for Larry Summers, like he doesn't need a job, but that's
Those
a big
are
blow.
social consequences and they're not the same as legal consequences, Like, what are we even doing? Do we have a society or do we not? I mean, we probably don't.
We have a really fucked up society.
Maybe it's not even it's just not functional is the issue.
We have a dysfunctional society.
Like just a non-functional society.
Non-functional society.
Because a functional society wouldn't just be like, okay, well, you lost your job. I guess that's all that needed to be done.
Okay, well, that must have hurt.
Well, it turns out that the guy's very rich and very influential, and he's had a lot of friends in powerful places. So I think that's good enough for him. He's been embarrassed.
He can't even go to the parties. But guess what they do? They go to the fucking parties, bro. They don't care. Look at what's his name? What's his name?
Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz. I mean, this guy is like caught red-handed. Fucking, he narrowly escaped sex trafficking charges as a congressman, as a sitting congressman. This motherfucker's got a talk show. He's got a talk show. He's clearly like a fucking, at the very least a deviant. And, I mean, I use the word loosely.
There was something that was whispered to him as a threat. Do you remember that video where he's?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where they're
his face
negotiating.
just drops.
Yes.
He's like this, and he's like.
He looks like he saw a fucking ghost.
Wasn't it with the former speaker?
No, it wasn't with the speaker. Although he was at odds with the speaker, but that was somebody else that whispered. Oh my God.
I remember that. I do remember that.
So I think
it was kind of shocking.
I know he's in worse trouble than I think that we ever found out. Ooh, you hear that thunder?
Yeah, we got thunder.
We got thunderstorms today. It's really fun.
It
It was raining. It was raining really hard this afternoon, and I was like, "Oh, this is so delightful. I'm just gonna like curl up on the couch and read a book." I was like asleep in 5 minutes.
You're a hunk shoeing.
Song showing.
Speaking of which, I'll use that opportunity to tell everyone that today was the second day of doing the Pass on Two Real Hollywood memoir live on the Patreon, and it was great, man. It was great. Like I really think it was great. I think that I did some really wonderful work, first of all, just really improving the book in ways I think you're going to be really pleased with. Nice, sweet little tweaks and tunings that are just singing And a part of that because I'm reading it out loud. And I'm reading it out loud for the purpose of creating an audiobook of sorts. And so we'll call it the interim audiobook. And
A draft statement of
and
the
I felt
audiobook.
I felt like I read well today, like because I got to act out all these roles, and I felt like I did well today. But the book is reading really well. It's getting tweaked really nicely, and there were great learning opportunities. Like I talked about, like I was pointing out areas in the dialogue where I was laying out theme work, and like just like awesome opportunities for people to kind of like examine what I'm doing and where my mind is as I'm laying out the dialogue and what I'm trying to accomplish beyond just the conversation itself, but also for the overall body of the work, right? It's really cool, man. So if you have, I posted it. I posted it late, just before this live began. I posted it. So if you're on the Patreon, it's there. It's live. It's a couple hours long. I don't know what it is. You can put it on fucking, time and a half speed. Mm-hmm. Listen to the, but I'm also reading the book, and yeah, it's reading well. And I haven't been with the book for a year and a half now.
You do a lot of, I heard you do repetitions.
Yeah, I do because
It's just because you're recording, so you're trying to get your best take?
Yeah, because I'm going to cut all of it into a temporary audiobook that's going to be made available for all the Patreon members.
Oh, that's great.
First, they're going to get it first. I don't know if I'm going to release it beyond the Patreon. I haven't made any decisions about that yet, but they're going to get it first. And this is the sort of, this is the, the raw material, you know what I mean, that I'm working with. But the fun part about it is that I'm sort of tailoring this second edition book to the audiobook because I'm adding tags where I didn't have any in order to keep some clarity for the flow of the audio version, right? Because sometimes it's really hard. But that's where I got really excited today, and I'm really focused on and keeping this going, is that I was able to like not have to distinguish so many tags because I was playing the characters pretty well. It was fun, man. I had a good time. Like, it was ripping it. I put the lights down low, so when you go to the Patreon, you'll see that the lights are kind of low in the studio. But it was a good fucking time, and yeah, I just hope we had a couple of people there. There was like only one person in the chat, but there was a couple of people there. Hopefully, some writers will show up, or if there are writers already there, that they'll be inspired to ask some questions and stuff, because that would really spark some cool shit. I don't want to go off on like an hour-long tangent when I'm in the middle of my write, but that'll be some more sort of added interesting shit to to that stuff. So anyway, come check it out. It's really fucking cool. And if you haven't joined the Patreon yet, the link is in the subscription, and you can do that now if you like. Not that you will. Here, just hit the like button. Just fucking hit the like button. How about that? Okay. Well, we're 47 minutes in. Shall we dive into the juicy juice? The tea?
Okay, so fucking Wayfarer Foundation, Wayfarer Pathways, and Steve Sarowitz individually were sued again.
Yeah.
This was filed last week. Celeste C. Smith. I looked her up online from her Wayfarer photos, because she was in the company. And she is cute as a button, this lady.
What's her name? I'm gonna go look at cute as a button.
Celeste Smith, Wayfarer Foundation. She is, it's just such a shame that she had to deal with this bullshit. Okay, so she sued them. Let's see. Nature of complaint. This suit is brought by plaintiff Celeste C. Smith. She's a 52-year-old Muslim female African-American who has been subjected to age, religion, gender, and race discrimination, including disparity of treatment and hostile work environment. A plaintiff, after engaging in protected activity, experienced retaliation by defendants, including individual Steve Sarowitz. And that is a violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Based on gender, religion, and race, the Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967, based on Age and Americans with Disabilities Act. All right, I'm going to skip down here. Statement of facts. You want to hear what happened to her?
Of course.
Plaintiff Smith was aggressively recruited by then executive director of the Wayfarer Foundation in 2023 to end her employment at the Pittsburgh Foundation as a senior program officer. This is exactly what happened to Shane Norman. He was poached by some other he was doing work, and he was sought by the Wayfarer Foundation and brought on and made promises to.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to her. She was recruited to end her employment at the Pittsburgh Foundation as a senior program officer to work as an employee at the newly formed Wayfarer Foundation. So this is in 2023, a private nonprofit arm of the Wayfarer Pathways, a for-profit corporation. I wonder if this is happening while they're filming It Ends With Us. Because May of 2023 was their first month of shooting.
Yes.
On
November when? Sorry.
Oh, no, they don't have a date. It's just in 2023.
2023.
Strange she doesn't give a date, huh? Okay. On November 25th, 2025, Plaintiff Smith, then a terminated employee of defendants Wayfarer Foundation and Wayfarer Pathways, filed an Equal Employment Opportunity Commission charge number with charges of violation of Title VII, violation of Age Discrimination and Employment Act, violation of Americans with Disability Act, and violation of the Illinois Human Rights Act, filed concurrently with the EEOC charge. On or about November 25th, 2025, Plaintiff Smith received a notice of a right to sue email from the EEOC, dated November 25th, 2025, for her charge. This claim is being timely filed. Plaintiff Smith is a 52-year-old African-American female. Plaintiff Smith's religion is Muslim. In April 2025, Plaintiff Smith was injured and required accommodation under the Americans with Disabilities Act, which she was exercising at the time of termination. Plaintiff Smith has a bachelor's in arts and management from Chatham University. She has over 15 years of experience in nonprofit employment with board service affiliations with nonprofits. By 2023, had a reputation as an excellent expert on all facets of nonprofit management. Plaintiff had received awards and honors for her outstanding work. Her reputation in the field of philanthropy was well known in 2023. Again, they fucking biffed it. At the time of plaintiff's hire with defendants, plaintiff's executive overarching skill set and competencies included, as reflected on her CV. I'm not going to read all this.
When did they start calling it a CV?
It's Latin. It's curriculum vitae.
I know, but when did they start doing that? Why did they have to make it complicated? Well, it was because his resume was a fucking annoying, wasn't it?
No, you don't understand. Everything is a barrier to keep uneducated people out. Because if you're educated, it tells them that you're in a specific class that can afford education, and they only want to work with other rich people. So they started making everything Latin.
That's interesting.
I knew a guy who was studying to be a lawyer in in California. You don't have to go to law school to become a lawyer. You just have to pass the bar. And it's really cool. So he was studying, and then he was going to get mentored by these attorneys. And he was talking about how he's like, they only make everything, they make everything excessively complicated. It's just like a barrier to entry type thing. Like they really just try and weed out normal people from becoming lawyers. He's like, it's just unnecessarily overwrought, you know? Anyway, I think they do that all over the place. Anyway, continuing. Shall I?
Yeah.
This establishes what the Wayfarer Foundation is. It's a private nonprofit organization. It was founded by Steve Sarowitz and Justin Baldoni in 2019. They began operating in 2021. The Wayfarer Foundation was a philanthropic branch of Wayfarer Pathways, the for-profit umbrella parent corporation. The human resources functions for defendant Wayfarer Foundation at all times during its operations were administered by Wayfarer Pathways, including plaintiff's hire in 2021, the medical leave and accommodations and termination on May 1st, 2025. I wonder if that's a typo because they said that they recruited her in 2023, and this says 2021. That's strange. Okay.
I couldn't tell you.
According to its website, Wayfarer Foundation was created, in quotes, as a Baha'i-inspired organization with the mission to advance humankind spiritually towards a future peaceful world civilization. What?
That's not. That doesn't sound good.
Exactly. I don't know if I like that. I don't know. A Baha'i-inspired organization with a mission to advance humankind spiritually towards a future peaceful world civilization. The organization's stated goal was to fund and support, in quotes, spiritually rooted and justice-oriented nonprofits. The Wayfarer Foundation actively and aggressively pursued plaintiff to work at Wayfarer Foundation, although she was a senior program officer at the Pittsburgh Foundation with several years of seniority and with high potential for advancement. In hiring discussions and negotiations with the defendants, plaintiff asked about the longevity of the Wayfarer Foundation's commitment to its stated purpose. Plaintiff was reassured by the then executive director, Laura Herrick, that with promises that the sunset provision for the foundation was at least 15 years from its inception in 2021. So she was assured that she was leaving her nice job to go and work, and she was assured she was going to have a 15-year commitment from them.
15 years?
Plaintiff Smith would not have accepted employment with defendants if she had not been promised by defendants that the nonprofit would operate under a 15-year sunset term. Plaintiff, in an interview with defendants, a mother of 3, was concerned about the stability and longevity of the position with defendants, and she required stable employment and medical benefits for her family. Plaintiff Smith, planning for a long-term career with defendant Wayfarer Foundation, resigned from her position at the Pittsburgh Foundation. Plaintiff was hired on June 19th, 2023. So we know when. Mm-hmm. Into the position of Program Officer of Arts. In December of 2023, Plaintiff Smith, because of recognition of her excellent performance, was promoted to the position of Program Director. Less than a year later, in August 2024, again, because of her excellent performance, Plaintiff was promoted to Senior Program Director. August 2024 was when the premiere of It Ends With Us was happening. In the position of Senior Program Director, Plaintiff Smith became a member of Defendant Wayfarer's Foundation executive team. As Defendant's Senior Program Director, 9 employees reported directly to Plaintiff Smith. Plaintiff's duties were both public-facing and internal to the foundation. She states her duties in the position were, and there's bullet points, but I won't list them because it's a lot.
Can you guys hear the thunder? It's so great.
From June 2023 to January 2025, Plaintiff Smith reported to Laura Herrick in her position of executive director and then CEO of Wayfarer Foundation. Plaintiff Smith's performance reviews at all times were excellent. While reporting to executive director CEO Laura Herrick, plaintiff received merit increases and bonuses based on her excellent work in 2023, 2024, and initially in 2025. In or around October of 2024, plaintiff became aware of repeated statements and decisions by the organization's founder, defendant Steve Sarowitz, that revealed a pattern of hostility towards Muslims, including the Nation of Islam, also known as Black Muslims. Sarowitz showed open animosity to individuals expressing solidarity with the Palestinian people who were facing a humanitarian crisis. As a practicing Muslim, a member of the Nation of Islam, plaintiff was made to feel targeted and alienated in internal communications and decision-making spaces and was treated hostilely while she spoke to Steve Sarowitz about her beliefs. On or about October 20...
I wish there was some specificity to that. Maybe there will be.
Maybe.
Yeah, this is all just the opening.
On or about October 24, Plaintiff Smith attended a conference in South Dakota. The conference was called A Gathering of Relatives, where individual defendant Sarowitz, founder and board chair of Defendants Foundation, also was present. The event was sponsored in part by Indigenous peoples. Oh, that's interesting. A Gathering of Relatives, sponsored in part by Indigenous peoples. During the conference, defendant Sarowitz, after an Indigenous elder expressed solidarity with the Palestinian community, made statements showing racial and religious bias. During the conference, Sarowitz confronted participants from various religions, foundation colleagues, and argued hostilely about his position supporting the Israeli side of the event. If anyone disagreed with him, he would become angry, and people reported that they felt threatened. Plaintiff spoke to him about his behavior. This is nuts. Can you believe this?
No.
Who behaves like that?
I think really fucking rich people who think that everybody is a servant.
What the fuck? What is he even doing there? Okay. The defendant foundation staff who reported to plaintiff, including Plaintiff Smith, who attended the conference, were shocked and humiliated by Steve Sarowitz's behavior. considering the foundation's core values. Sarowitz, well, we know that the core values do not align with his behavior whatsoever, repeatedly.
Correct.
Sarowitz's conduct showed not only racial bias and religious bias, but were not aligned with the tenets of the foundation. Plaintiff attempted to discuss Sarowitz's behavior with him at the conference, but he reacted with anger. After the conference, employees who attended reported feeling fear toward defendant Sarowitz's presence in the office. After the October 2024 conference, plaintiff and other defendant Wayfarer Foundation staff who were perceived as supporting Palestinian causes or part of Muslim communities were questioned in terms of religious belief, loyalty, and trustworthiness. This focus led to an environment of hostility, exclusion, and religious stereotyping. These attitudes directly impacted plaintiffs' participation in leadership discussions, created a hostile and discriminatory work environment. After the October 2024 conference, the executive director refused to allow Sarowitz to come to the foundation office, but he eventually came and apologized to the staff for his behavior.
Wow.
So that, then it's water under the bridge, right?
Well, but that's what they do. That's how the Wayfarer parties take it. We apologized. It was settled. The matter was done.
And then you're the jerk for not taking their apology. In January 2025, the executive director, CEO Laura Herrick, took a leave of absence. Plaintiff then reported directly to Steve Sarowitz. On March 14th, 2025, plaintiff was invited to a breakfast meeting with defendant Sarowitz at his home. Plaintiff was reporting directly to Sarowitz, who had become the new interim executive director CEO. Immediately, Sarowitz began to ask Plaintiff Smith invasive, probing questions about the Quran and her Muslim religion and its beliefs. Plaintiff felt the conversation was hostile, discriminatory, and unwelcome. Defendant Sarowitz then questioned plaintiff about her political beliefs, specifically as it relates to her humanitarian support for the people of Palestine. Plaintiff openly pushed back on Sarowitz's negative comments on her religion and its practices.
Why would he do this?
Why would he fucking do that? He was like, you know what I feel like doing today? I'm going to invite her over to pick a fight. I'm gonna try and degrade her over some fucking waffles. What the fuck?
What are you doing?
What a fucking weirdo. Okay, during the breakfast meeting with Sarowitz, there must be a typo here. During the breakfast meeting with Sarowitz, pressed plaintiff to assess the loyalty of other staff and made veiled accusations. He stated, and this is a quote, "She couldn't have done it alone," when referring to the former executive director Herrick, keeping him out of the office and other issues between the two. Defendant Sarowitz expressed a strong preference for hiring Baha'i staff, including bringing back a former Baha'i employee and promoting another Baha'i applicant previously not selected. Plaintiff, who
Everything's a fucking boys club, everything.
Yeah, I know. Plaintiff, who was primarily responsible for hiring, stated clearly that hiring based on religious identity was inappropriate and that equity required competency-based and values-based hiring practices. Again, plaintiff did not agree with Sarowitz that she would hire individuals based only on their Baha'i faith. The March 14th, 2025 breakfast conversation with Sarowitz marked a significant escalation in the discriminatory, hostile environment and led to retaliatory behavior that followed, including plaintiff's termination. After plaintiff advised Sarowitz on the March 14th, 2025 meeting that she objected to and was offended by Sarowitz's statements about her Muslim faith and the issue of Palestine, and his request that plaintiff favor candidates who practice Baha'i religion, Sarowitz denied Plaintiff Smith any consideration for the interim executive director position after Herrick resigned, instead hiring a white, younger candidate, Jennifer Weigel, a member and practitioner of the Baha'i faith. Plaintiff was more qualified for the executive director position after Herrick resigned, but was not interviewed nor considered for the position. Defendant Sarowitz did not mention the open position to Plaintiff Smith. Plaintiff was explicitly prevented from being considered for the role of interim executive director despite her tenure, seniority, and excellent qualifications. There was no open or transparent process for the selection, and the executive director position opportunity was never officially posted or made accessible to Plaintiff Smith. In March 2025, at defendant Sarowitz's instructions, Wayfarer Foundation staff were pressured to participate in religious programming. During this time, staff were encouraged to take part in Ruhi courses. Would you look that up?
Ruhi?
Yeah, look up Baha'i Ruhi courses, RUHI. During this time, staff were encouraged to take part in Ruhi courses, which are educational programs rooted in Baha'i teachings. So, okay.
Sorry, it's spelled what?
RUHI. So he's hiring only Baha'i
R-U-H-I.
people, but then he wants them to, he's encouraging his staff to be more educated in the religion. Educational programs rooted in Baha'i teachings. While framed as professional development, these programs carried an explicit religious bias and were presented...
I'm sorry, it's
RUHI.
Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulty I have to deal with. RUHI at Baha'i. Ruhi Baha'i.
Around March 2025. During this time, staff were encouraged to take part in Ruhi courses, which are educational programs rooted in Baha'i teachings. They were framed as professional development, which is, not wrong because he's only hiring Baha'i people. So it is kind of professional development if you want to be a Baha'i.
Oh, yeah.
You get hired by a
That's some
billionaire.
fucking Scientology shit right there, isn't it?
So you're not beating the cult allegations with this shit. It's crazy.
It's called Ruhi Course?
Yeah, he said Ruhi courses. If you can't find it, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
They're educational programs rooted in Baha'i teachings. While framed as professional development, these programs carried an explicit religious bias and were presented without consideration for religious diversity or inclusion. Regardless of religious belief, employees were required to attend. From the time of CEO Herrick's leave of absence in January 2025 to late March 2025, no person other than defendant Sarowitz was in the position of executive director or CEO. The interim executive director, Weigel, started her position in late March. Defendant knows that she was treated in a disparate manner by defendant Sarowitz, where she was the best qualified for the executive director CEO position, but a younger, white, non-Muslim of the Baha'i faith, Jennifer Weigel, with little or no experience or skill to direct the Wayfarer Foundation, including the department's grant funding and public-facing community outreach, which plaintiff was senior director over. That's a strange sentence. From March to the first weeks of April 2025, plaintiff was retaliated against by being excluded from strategy meetings and removed from decision-making spaces that she had previously led. Plaintiff was aware she was being undermined in terms of visibility in leadership circles in the defendant foundation. On March 31st, 2025, plaintiff suffered an injury in a fall while at home. Because of the fall, plaintiff was unable to work at all until April 11th, 2025. After April 11th, 2025, plaintiff, through her physician, sought and received accommodation under the ADEA to work part-time 4 hours a day. The restriction was granted by Defendant Wayfarer Pathways Human Resources Department by Lori Kleinman. During plaintiff's time on restricted duty, interim executive director Weigel attempted repeatedly to have plaintiff work beyond her work restriction so she could obtain, in quotes, quick wins for Steve and obtain the executive director position permanently. Plaintiff, in her discussion with Weigel, reminded her of Defendant Wayfarers Foundation's stated values: unity and diversity, justice, spiritually continuous learning. I guess that's supposed to say spirituality. Continuous learning. And that her behavior contradicted these principles. This exchange was another form of retaliation during protected medical leave. Weigel responded to plaintiff with, "Steve needs quick wins." The behavior of the interim executive director Weigel and under the instruction of defendant Sarowitz became so severe and hostile, plaintiff reached out and filed a discrimination complaint against executive director Weigel because of her harassing treatment during the time that she was recuperating from a very serious and painful rib contusion and bruise. Plaintiff, home after a possible fractured rib, was asked which rib by interim executive director Weigel. Though Weigel knew plaintiff was in severe pain and on an accommodated approved schedule, plaintiff should continue working on strategy documents and was denied an extension despite her accommodation status. Interim director Weigel told plaintiff, in quotes, "I know you're used to white people making rush decisions, but that's not what this is."
Say what?
I know you're used to white people making rush decisions, but that's not what this is.
Okay.
What the fuck is it then? Plaintiff was shocked and offended by the racialized remark. and knew requiring her to work during an approved time off well over her restricted limit for an injury was not legal under defendant's policies and procedures or federal or state law. Plaintiff was in physical pain and felt pressured by her executive director, telling her she needed quick wins while in her interim position of executive director so she could hold on to the position with Steve. Plaintiff knew that the Wayfarer Foundation had a race disparity problem from discussing the issue with her staff and reviewing a documentation of race bias in a paper written by an African-American Wayfarer Foundation board member. Plaintiff knew this treatment by Weigel was retaliatory also for her recent formal complaint of discrimination and retaliation. The disability complaint was filed with a human resources contractor. In April 2025, during a Wayfarer Foundation board meeting, plaintiff discussed 2 grant applications which were off-cycle requests. Defendant Sarowitz, though the grants were for $200,000 and $50,000, began to ask questions about the smaller application. The smaller application was for a Muslim health clinic in Chicago. Plaintiff experienced Sarowitz once again asking probing questions about a Black Muslim woman's grant and race bias, and religious questions about whether the clinic had familial ties to Betty Shabazz, who was deceased, the widow of Malcolm X, who was also deceased. The Shabazz family is African American and Muslim. The disparity in treatment was so glaring, Plaintiff Smith was deeply troubled by the racial and religious bias being conducted by defendant Sarowitz and condoned by the interim executive director, Jennifer Weigel, who was present. Plaintiff spoke up by answering all the questions, but noted the disparity in treatment. In mid-April 2025, in a discussion with Steve Sarowitz about hiring defendant Sarowitz's nephew, plaintiff raised concerns about transparency. Defendant Sarowitz responded with visible, escalating anger, saying, in quotes, "Is there a problem with hiring my nephew? I want my nephew to be hired." The volume and tone was intimidating, hostile, and unwelcome. This interaction with defendant Sarowitz was coercive, inappropriate, and retaliatory in nature, and was done before several of plaintiff's colleagues. On April 23rd, 2025, plaintiff filed a formal discrimination retaliation complaint to defendant Wayfarer Foundation's leadership, defendant Sarowitz, Weigel, and Wayfarer Pathways Chief Operating Officer Elise Lilwack, and Human Resources Director Lori Kelman. Included in the complaint, but not limited in content, the recent termination of Minito's contract, along with other developments, have raised deep concerns. This is a quote. "The recent termination of Minito's contract, along with other developments, have raised deep concerns for me about the organizational climate of the Wayfarer Foundation. I have experienced the environment as increasingly inhospitable and believe I am being subjected to discriminatory treatment based on my religion, Muslim, and race, Black." After plaintiff and other employees formally complained to the defendant's human resources contractor, the contract with the human resources consultant was abruptly terminated before an internal impartial discrimination review could occur on plaintiff's discrimination and retaliation complaint. That's crazy.
Insane.
She complained and then they were like gone before they could investigate? That's crazy. Within 10 days of plaintiff making her formal complaint in April 2025, while other complaints were pending, the defendant shut down defendant Wayfarer Foundation. That's interesting.
They shut it down.
So all the complaints were coming. He didn't want to be held liable for violating labor laws and discrimination laws.
So he just shut it down.
So he was like, okay, no business. Okay, no, you can't.
But that's not how that works, is it?
On May 2nd, 2025, and less than 4 years into its sunset promise, during the pendency of plaintiff's unresolved complaint of discrimination, defendant Sarowitz issued the following statement. Here it is. Here's a quote from Sarowitz. "Over the past 4 years, Wayfarer Foundation has supported dozens of grantee partners in fulfilling their missions. I'm so incredibly proud of the impact this organization has made and deeply grateful for our staff, board, donors, and partners. Upon unanimous decision of the board of directors, today we begin the process of sunsetting the foundation. We will honor all of our current grant commitments as we carefully wind down operations over the next several weeks. Although the Wayfarer Foundation is closing, my personal commitment to giving remains strong, and I'm dedicated to making an impact on society through the ongoing mission and work. We understand that this news may come as a surprise, and we will be actively working over the next several weeks to ensure all matters are concluded with care and attention. With gratitude, Steve Sarowitz, founder of board Wayfarer Foundation." Plaintiff learned that all other staff continued to work at defendant Wayfarer Foundation until June 30th, 2025, including the staff that reported directly to Plaintiff Smith. After June 30th, 2025, 83% of the former Wayfarer Foundation staff was transferred to Pathways, doing philanthropic work in a department of Wayfarer Pathways. The person who was designated to perform the leadership role plaintiff previously performed is a younger male employee who is of the Baha'i religion without a disability or accommodation. At the time of the abrupt termination of the human resources representative contractor, other complaints were pending from those employees with protected classifications, including the initial complaint plaintiff filed against interim executive director Weigel during her interference with her protected accommodations. After plaintiff was terminated by phone, by Wayfarer Pathways, plaintiff learned that she was the only employee singled out to have 2 human resources personnel present in her termination. On May 2nd, 2025, less than 2 weeks after filing her discrimination and retaliation complaint with Pathways Human Resources, a phone call was scheduled with plaintiff while she was working 4 hours per week with restrictions from home. The retained and transitioned employees of Wayfarer Foundation continued the work previously performed by defendant Wayfarer Foundation at defendant Wayfarer Pathways in a department created called Private Giving. The retained employees were predominantly Baha'i faith. Plaintiff was terminated in a telephone call on May 2nd. I'm not sure why this is skipping around. Plaintiff was terminated in a telephone call on May 2nd, 2025, while she was working on an accommodated position from home with an injury. Defendant Wayfarer Pathways Chief Operating Officer Elise Litwack and Robert Henderson, a Baha'i, stated the Wayfarer Foundation was sunsetting and closing the end of June 2025. Plaintiff Smith was retaliated against by being terminated on May 2nd, 2024, prior to the completion of defendant Wayfarer's 15-year sunset provision. Plaintiff Smith was also asked to sign a severance agreement resolving completely any rights she had based on all federal and state civil rights laws for a 2-month period of wages. Plaintiff Smith filed an equal employment opportunity charge. Plaintiff detrimentally relied upon defendant's promises that the employment with Wayfarer Foundation and Wayfarer Pathways was stable and had over 12 years at least of functioning prior to its sunsetting. Terminating plaintiff in violation of the ADA were intentional and willful in deliberate disregard with a reckless indifference in deliberate disregard and with reckless indifference to the rights of Plaintiff Smith. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's violations of Plaintiff Smith's rights under Title VII, ADEA, and ADA as stated, plaintiff's terms, conditions, and privileges of employment were adversely affected, as were her rights under Illinois State Law Human Rights Act. Defendants broke their promises to plaintiff when she planned and expected a long, productive tenure with the defendants, but such promises, which plaintiff relied on, were broken to plaintiff's detriment. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's wrongful acts and omissions, plaintiff has sustained injuries and damages, including but not limited to loss of earnings and earning capacity, loss of career opportunities, loss of medical insurance and other fringe and pension benefits, mental anguish, physical and emotional distress, humiliation and embarrassment, loss of professional reputation, and loss of the ordinary pleasures of everyday life, including the right to pursue the gainful employment in the field of nonprofit management. Count 1, violation of Title VII Civil Rights Act, based on sex and race religion. All defendants. Count 2, Title VII, retaliation and retaliatory harassment based on protected activity. All defendants. Count 3, violation of the Age Discrimination in Employment Act. Count 4, violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Count 5, discrimination in violation of Illinois Human Rights Act. All defendants. Based on age, race, religion, gender, and disability. Count 6, retaliation under Illinois Human Rights Act. I wonder why they don't say all defendants there, who it's for. Count 7, promissory estoppel and equitable estoppel, resulting in detrimental reliance as to all defendants under Illinois law. And there you have it. Fucking get their asses.
Is that the whole thing?
Yeah. No, I mean, I've skipped, there's all this. There's a lot more to be read under each one of these counts. They do the, exactly what facts support the counts. But I just wanted to read the, that rundown of the statement of facts. What is this called? Yeah, that was a statement of facts. Anyway, that's the story. That's how Steve Sarowitz earned himself another lawsuit.
Congratulations to Steve Sarowitz, huh? I'm sorry that I look distracted. It's because I had a little drive failure here and I'm just dealing with it. Sometimes when these lives happen, I got to deal with some technical shit, and that's what I'm dealing with right now. So don't mind me. Please. And
Hinata says, I haven't seen any specific statement or action that would be grounds for cause of action except to mandatory training that included what appears to be Baha'i doctrine.
so you're thinking the case is kind of weak? Is that what you're saying? Here we go.
I don't know. I mean, it seems pretty strong. I feel like you can't be an employer and argue with somebody about their religion and not face some fucking consequences for that. Kayla says, the irony being that Baha'i came from Islam. Granted, it's come a long way from its roots in Shia, but without Islam, would there be Baha'i? Hinata says, Kayla, exactly. Baha'i derives from Islam and comes from Iran. Only Sarowitz is Jewish. Kayla says Sarowitz is definitely a late stage convert. They're usually the most dogmatic.
Oops.
Deanne said, only hiring Baha'i is problematic. You cannot discriminate or hire just Baha'i. If the person was not qualified.
Say that again?
Deanne was talking about religious hiring on the basis of a religion. Deanne said, only hiring Baha'i is problematic. You can't discriminate or hire just Baha'i if the person isn't qualified. Hinata said that Ruhi institutions are educational organizations affiliated to Baha'i. They exist all over the world.
Yeah, well, I looked it up, and it's kind of creepy. Like, first of all, they have this picture. Pardon me. They have this picture, and it's like it's just so obvious. Like, they have the picture is a 4-shot. It's got a white girl, it's got an Asian girl, it's got a Hispanic girl, and
It's an assortment.
a black boy, and a black boy. They almost forgot to get the boy. They were like, and we need a black girl. Well, maybe we should include males. Oh, you're right.
They basically just took like stock photos that every university uses for their pamphlets.
It's embarrassing, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's kind of embarrassing. It's like, okay, yeah, you guys are dotting I's and crossing T's and pretending to be
Come on
this and
over,
that.
be a token for us.
So it's the Institute, it's called Instituto Ruhi or whatever, conceptual framework, programs, materials, reference materials. They have spiritual education for all ages. And it's got main sequence of courses for those 15 years and older. I made a movie called Small Group, and one of the things when we were about to make the movie, the director, who was the first time director, and myself and the director of photography, we were talking about how to shoot the small group. And small groups, for those who don't know, are just these like very small units of churchgoers who, they'll...
It's like a book club.
It's like a book club. It's like 12. Jesus is a book club. And
The Bible.
this is like
The
12,
book club,
13.
yeah.
It's not even the Bible, really. It's just because they talk about life. They talk about whatever. Small group. So when we were about to shoot it, I said, look, we need to, do multiple angles, multiple cameras. And I pitched this whole thing that would break the circle. And then the director was like, no, you can't. You got to keep the circle. If you break the circle, it doesn't. So we had to accommodate this whole. It was an interesting challenge because like I definitely had to change the way I was thinking about the whole setup, and it was the major part of the setup. I'm bringing this up only because their thing is an overhead shot. It looks like from the movie Small Group because it's got this like
It's just a
circle of people.
It's basically a support group.
I took too long to tell you guys that story, but anyway, here's just a taste of the courses. These are the titles. Book 1, Reflections of the Life of the Spirit. Book 2, Arising to Serve. Book 3, Teaching Children Classes Grade 1. Book 4, The Twin Manifestations.
What?
Book 5, Releasing the Powers of Junior
Is
Youth.
that a gender thing? Twin manifestations.
Book 4, the main sequence returns to the question of identity, the I in the statement. I walk the path of service. History shapes much of the identity of individuals as well as entire peoples. The second and third units in this book are dedicated to the study of life, of the life history of Baha'u'llah or whatever, and author of the Baha'i faith, and his forerunner, the Bab,
The bab.
in the bab,
The
the
bab.
babs. What is that? In the first unit, the significance of this day is briefly. I can't do it. I can't even continue to read this. It just bothers me.
Yeah,
It's
word salad,
it
right?
feels just like so exhausting.
Oh,
It's just like it feels like
forgot this part.
an accosting of a life.
about her lawsuit. Plaintiff Celeste Smith requests this court enter judgment in her favor and against defendants, granting relief for lost wages, benefits, compensatory damages for the amount she is found to be entitled, including non-economic damages, exemplary damages commensurate with the wrong, costs and attorney's fees, and or equitable relief that appears appropriate at the time of trial. So it's weird. She doesn't state that she's requesting a trial. She says, request this court enter judgment. So trial just means a bench trial, like the judge is deciding.
She's asking for a bench trial.
I think she's saying request this court enter judgment in her favor against the defendants. I don't think she's requesting a trial.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I wonder how.
Well, I wish her luck. I have a.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, they're here at the end. Jury demand.
Oh, okay.
Hereby demands a jury trial in the above matter. There you have it, folks. We got a new Wayfarer trial. He's fucking idiot.
I mean, this will get settled, but it's it's not surprising that they're in that there are people that are.
You know what I love though is that all of this started because he went and decided to be a fake ass fucking imposter at an indigenous organization. He went and hung out with a bunch of indigenous peoples, and they exposed the sneaky fucking colonizer among them. You know?
Yeah.
They said we express solidarity with peoples all across with marginalized and oppressed people all over the world, and he was like, "Hang on a minute, I got a problem with that. It makes me very angry." You know,
insane. In the membrane. I'm sorry if I'm not so entertaining. It's just having all this technical difficulty out of the blue.
Can you do it later?
But fortunately, it's not affecting us broadcasting, but it is affecting everything else.
Can you do it later?
I don't even have a chat. Do you have a chat?
Yes.
Can you tell me what's happening in it? Because I can't see it.
Only if you're going to participate.
I mean, I can't. I don't have like I'm saying, I'm having technical. You don't understand. My computer's like just tripping, bro.
Deanne said the treatment by the CEO is pretty disgusting if true. And they better have the goods, as you say, but I practice in this area, and I do think there's an argument, especially if they never considered her application. I appreciate the concerns.
It says chat is disabled for the live stream.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of chat, but I have plenty.
I mean, it's definitely not. I'm going to try to like reboot.
What are you doing?
Oh, there's the chat. Here we go.
Deanne said her claim under federal law, primarily Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, it's illegal for employees to discriminate against job applicants based on their religion. And yes, it applies to private individuals and businesses. So having a practice to only hire Baha'i is discrimination.
Wild.
Thanks, Deanne. That's very clarifying.
So.
And she was, because she went for the CEO job, and that's when this occurred.
She went for the COO job?
CEO job.
Yeah, the idea that he was drilling her on being a Muslim faith.
I want to align the timeline. I want to know whether Steve Sarowitz was making those really bloodthirsty comments about Israel and Hamas at the same time that he was having this fucking hissy fit about her being a Muslim. Like, I wonder whether it's aligned. Or whether he's just constantly like this. You know?
Yeah.
I cannot believe that people go around. I swear to God, dude. It's like, I can't imagine how awful it would be to constantly have like these like false persecution complex.
Yep.
Like, so he got personally offended because somebody was supporting the people who are overseas getting the absolute shit kicked out of them. Like, oh, newsflash, sometimes people support the underdog, and he had a fucking problem with that.
Or just
like,
the morally correct.
His side is winning. Like, why is he fucking pissed? You know what I mean? Like, it's fucked up. I don't understand these people. He acts like he's a victim in all of this, and absolutely in no context whatsoever is that the case. It's an interesting discussion. It's so neat to have two lawyers in the
I
in
love
the
that.
chat.
It's funny that people were critical of me in one of these subs of my so-called legal shortcomings. And I'm like, well, that's not why you would come and hang out with me in the first place, because I'm not a lawyer. But, we hang out with lawyers. Lawyers hang out with us. We're obviously not so bad.
Well, I'm also reading a bunch of writings from lawyers, written by lawyers, submitted to the court of law.
Exactly.
So it's like, so when the judge has a ruling and then you read it and then you parrot that in one of these comment sections, does that make you somebody who doesn't know law? Like, no, you're just, you're telling them what the guy who does know law said. Hanada said, except for the specific action of imposing professional training rooted in religion, I haven't seen specific actions of conversations in this draft. Hanada says, saying I was not hired for CEO because I'm Muslim is an open conclusion statement.
It's an open conclusion statement.
Open conclusory statement.
Conclusory statement.
This is true. It's a weak argument because she has to somehow prove that was his reasoning for skipping over her and hiring somebody else. Like just saying I was there, I was qualified, and he didn't pick me because of my religion doesn't mean that he actually did that. So that's a little tough. I hope that she gets paid a ton of money and then continues to go on being a badass in nonprofits that actually want to do work instead of controlling everybody. Kayla Clark said tinfoil hat, which we love.
Yep.
I think he abruptly shut down the Wayfarer Foundation, burdened those grantees, screwed the employees just to blame Blake Lively.
Do you really?
Oh, that's interesting. Kayla says he already knew he was transitioning to DAFs. What is that?
I do not know.
But chose not to notify anyone or explain himself clearly before just shutting it down. I like that theory. I don't know if it's true. Hanada said, Deanna, in the lawsuit, I bet the employer will be able to raise many other reasons not to hire anyone. Hanada said, for now, I only see one strong point, and that is the imposition of religious-based education. Yeah, like if it was absolutely required that you had to attend that, and it made people uncomfortable, that's a big no-no.
Yeah, that's absolutely a big no-no.
I'm going to request that you join us.
I'm going to be with you momentarily. Thank you for your patience, though. I'm kind of, I'm half there. I got to deal with this. It's fucking.
Kiki says that Sarowitz also knew that there were complaints. Yeah, what's the justification for firing your HR when there's pending complaints happening, and then not following up with them? Like those complaints and those investigations just die.
So what I'm trying to understand is they had a separate HR for the Wayfarer Foundation, but didn't have one for.
Correct.
Wow. That seems a little odd, doesn't it?
I know. Well, a lot of things seem really super odd about this. Okay, well, I'm just going to go and, hang out on the couch or something if you're going to just...
I'm hanging with you. Angela, come on. Why are you messing with me, bro?
Do you have another story?
I don't at the moment, but I might have it in a minute. I just got to get this thing set up to go, and then hopefully...
Oh, Kayla Clark said, donor-advised funds. Okay, so let me reread this. Kayla says, he already knew he was transitioning to donor-advised funds, but chose not to notify anyone or explain himself clearly before just shutting it down. Also, it just seems so messy for him to just be like, I know this comes as a surprise to all of you, but I'm just going to do it. And toodles.
Toodles.
Like, does he expect that nobody's going to try and be like, yo, I was promised a fucking job? Very, very fucking strange. Okay, well.
Okay, cool. At least I'm kind of rolling. I'm half-assed rolling again.
Okay, what happened? What's the story?
I'll tell you offline. But as you can see, I'm covered in wires.
Is it a secret?
It's like whatever. We didn't get to record this episode. It's a bummer, but
oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it happens. So Kayla, what's up? Kayla and Kiki are here. What's up, dudes? Sorry being a little disconnected today. I just had some technical difficulty. Where are we? Oh, you need some stories? I got some stories.
Oh, yeah?
I think so, probably. Let me see. I usually have some backup. Oh, yeah, I can't use my computer right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The story about Martin Short grieving again is so sad.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like cover it because, like what is there to be said other than it's so sad.
Yeah.
But this article, which is on Yahoo Entertainment, which I didn't think that was still a thing.
Tez?
Anyway, I didn't know this about. So Martin Short has had grief throughout his life. He lost his brother at 12 years old. He lost both parents when he was 20.
That's crazy.
Did you know that about him?
No.
And then, of course, I knew about his wife who passed away in 2010.
Gilda.
And now his only daughter.
No, Gilda died not in 2010.
He wasn't married to Gilda Radner.
Oh, that was, what's his name?
Yes. That was Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. Yeah, but I remember he lost his wife, in 2010. I remember because there's this video, this sort of viral video or whatever of him where he is like somebody didn't do the research or whatever. And so he's sitting there and it wasn't long after.
Yes, he sat for an interview and
the interviewer was like, da-da-da with your wife or whatever. And she had just passed like months earlier.
They were like, have you ever, something about like, are you, you were in love with your wife or something? And he was like, yes, deeply, deeply in love.
Yeah, it was.
And she was dead. Oh my God.
Yeah, she had just died.
Horrible.
Not long before.
Her name was Nancy Dolman, and he was with her for 30 years.
It's just heartbreaking.
Yep. So sad.
Terrifying, actually.
He's like on tour and stuff too.
Yeah, he had a show this Saturday.
God.
Which I don't know if they've canceled it or not, but he had a show ready to go this Saturday. Yeah, I'm obviously extremely, extremely sad for him. But I'll be able to like go through my stories in about 3 minutes ish as I correct this problem. And then I'll be good to go. But yeah, I mean, I fucking love that guy. Everybody does. I like that he makes like an appearance in my book, even if it's just in mention and has nothing to do with me directly at all. But I just love that he's there. I love that he kind of played a little.
Because he's in Captain Ron.
Yeah. I read it today, actually. Yeah, it's because Maddie just said, she was.
I can't remember him in Captain Ron. He's the dad.
Yeah.
I only remember Kurt Russell. Ron, Captain Ron.
Yeah, I mean, it was delightful.
That must have been fucking fun.
I would imagine.
To perform with Martin Short.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like I wish I brought more interesting things to talk about.
Kayla Clark just got back from Lithuania and she can't sleep. I don't think I'd be able to sleep if I just got back from Lithuania either.
You caught the old Lithuanian no sleeping disease, eh?
What is Lithuania like? I can't even imagine it.
What is the time zone in Lithuania? It's got to be like just opposite, right?
I don't know. Where is Lithuania? I don't even know where it is. Is that like Eastern Europe?
Yeah. We should go sometime.
Hang out in Lith?
Oh, did I tell you about how...
I can only go to places where I can swear and curse about the government, where I can say all the bad things I want to say about everybody. I need to go a place there like that because...
Where on the map can I talk a lot of shit?
Yeah, more or less. Look, man, there's a Canadian who got... He's been in ICE detention center for 4 months. He's been detained for 4 months. He went to wherever, I think Europe or Mexico or some shit, business, came back, and they looked up and like a 12 or 20-year-old or whatever misdemeanor marijuana charge.
20 years ago. God, yeah. I mean, like, nobody fucking voted for this. That's so nuts.
And he got like a DUI 12 years ago, and
Holy
he said
shit.
he quit drinking after that.
Yeah.
Because he was like, he was like, after I got that, I was like, this is obviously a problem for me and a pain in my ass, so he quit drinking. And he paid his debt to society on these issues. and they're holding him for 4 months, and he's a father and he's a husband of Americans, 2 Americans, and they're trying to force him out of the country. They're trying to force him to self-deport, is what he's reporting from this facility, which he says it's disgusting. He said when he got there, he got a cold cup of coffee and a half-frozen waffle. He's like, they're malnutrition. The water is dirty. He'll only drink water that he knows has been boiled. He's just living in absolute, and he says they're trying to get me to self-deport. And he's like, I can't. I have a family to support.
God.
Isn't that nuts? He has a family to support in Texas. A wife, kids.
So he's on the news now? Somebody is, he's got a story out there? Maybe
I can't believe that American citizens don't have the right to their spouses. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah, everything's so super insane.
That's so crazy.
This would never happen, even just like
But
2
that's
years
Melania,
ago.
right? Like, that's Melania, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, anyway. Sad as fuck.
I saved this story, but I never brought it up. It was after the BAFTAs and all that controversy with the man with Tourette's who had the N-word tick.
Yeah.
We have all learned more about Tourette's, I think, collectively. So,
We have.
they accomplished that at least in educating a lot of people about Tourette syndrome and what these tics, how they're actually not on purpose, accidental.
Correct.
Whatever. A BAFTA jury member quit over the handling of the Tourette's tick at the Film Awards. She said, utterly forgivable. Jonte Richardson.
Unforgivable, yeah.
What'd I say?
You said utterly forgivable.
Oh, utterly unforgivable.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Jonte Richardson was a jury member. She said this I'll just skip the article and just go to her statement. The handling of the unfortunate Tourette's N-word incident was utterly unforgivable. I cannot and will not contribute my time, energy, and expertise to an organization that has repeatedly failed to safeguard the dignity of its Black guests, members, and the Black creative community. This is particularly unfortunate given that this year's cohort boasts some incredible Black talent, especially one of my favorite shows of 2025 titled Just Act Normal. However, when an organization like BAFTA, with its own long history of systemic racism, I didn't know anything about this.
Yes, there's a whole bunch of. I actually read like these little bits and pieces about it. It's fucking nuts.
When an
But
organization,
I mean, of course, the British, of course. I mean, we're talking about like, the beginning of white.
I saw this Black woman filmmaker in England. She's English, and she was like, "Thank you, Americans, for getting pissed about this, so that we've got some, more voices." Because she's like, "We're kind of like in a minority over here, and they don't do anything to help us." She's like, "But the American celebrity system is like really strong and powerful. So hopefully they'll get some change." Anyway. Richardson continued, however, when an organization like BAFTA with its long history of systemic racism refuses to acknowledge the harm inflicted on both the Black and disabled communities and offer an appropriate apology, remaining involved would be tantamount to condoning its behavior. I said she. I guess it's a he. Jonte Richardson. Forgive me. He added that he hopes BAFTA leadership comprehend the damage that they and the BBC have caused and take the necessary steps to ensure their production staff is inclusive enough to prevent such an issue in the future. BAFTA said that they wanted to thank Michael and Delroy for their incredible dignity and professionalism. And everybody's like, yeah, you don't get that. You don't get to have that from them. You don't get to thank them for being cool when you fuck up. So apparently people who were at the ceremony, the BAFTA awards, are saying that John, I forget his last name, with Tourette's, that he was actually seated in the back of the auditorium, but that they had actually put a microphone on his table.
Whose table?
The man with the Tourette syndrome.
He had a mic on his table.
Yeah, there was somebody who was talking
you,
about.
like I told you, like
no, I know, but it sounds really fishy. But somebody was talking about how in production sometimes the communication gets a little bit. Communication can be weird, where like if if they have somebody who is labeled as a disabled guest, they'll make certain accommodations that are just like a checklist. And one of the accommodations often for somebody who's just simply labeled as a disabled guest, even if they're completely able to walk around and they're fully mobile, that they will put a microphone on their table so that if they want to speak, then they are mic'd and they don't have to get up and, get up to the stage or do anything, that they can be heard from a microphone. I guess it's one of these accommodations that BAFTA has decided that they should make for all of their guests who are labeled disabled in any way. And so they think that that's probably what they did for him without considering that that this is a special circumstance where the guy is fully mobile but has a speech disability. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's a weird situation. Anyway, they're not going to make the same mistake twice, that's for sure.
This reported an hour ago on Hollywood Reporter. In a stunning twist, Netflix is declining to raise its bid for Warner Brothers, positioning David Allison's Paramount as winner in the battle for the fabled studio. This is so terrible. We're watching the media takeover of extreme right wing.
Is there anything that Hollywood can do? No,
it's
right?
wrap. It's a wrap. It's over. It's going to be. It's they Warner Brothers is going to sell to. So now what media companies does
David
Ellison own? No, Larry Ellison owns them. David Ellison runs them. Larry's the dad. He's the 81-year-old. David's the CB. So here's what he owns right now. He owns, it's called Skydance Media. And they own Paramount. They own CBS. They own Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, BET. Well, those are all affiliates. But they also, now they own Warner Brothers. They own TikTok. What media and social... What social media companies?
I remember when I was a kid, anti-monopoly legislation was a big deal.
Of course.
And I don't know whatever happened to all that.
They broke up the bells. Yeah, because fucking Amazon runs the fucking, the supply chain now.
I know.
Everything goes through them.
They were like, if you want a free market in our capitalist system, you have to be anti-monopoly and let the market decide. I remember that being like a huge theme growing up. Whatever the fuck happened.
I don't know. It's sad, but this guy, it's obviously not a, so listen to this. Allison has $1 billion in X. He's got, TikTok. He's got CBS. He's got, CBS Paramount, which is massive. And now he's got Warner Brothers, which they're paying an enormous amount of money for something. And fucking Netflix offered up some kind of like massive cash deal for it. Oh boy, $44 billion. That was the stupid. He gave fucking Elon Musk $1 billion for X.
So you're saying it's over? We had a nice run with independent, non-propagandized media.
It's bad. It's a bad situation.
And then there's no more hope for us.
It's a bad situation.
Every single film and every single show and every single network is just going to be like wall-to-wall propaganda now. Is that what's happening?
It's becoming that.
Great.
Something I had shared for you guys. I guess Cosmic Urgency left us because as soon as we started talking about the real world, he's out. Can't handle it.
Well, I'll admit that when I have to run the show and do anything without your participation, I get extremely boring. I will admit that.
No, stop. Listen, you're wildly entertaining and you're a great reader. I have for you a Scream 7 review thread. You want to hear some of it?
Scream 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's set to open large.
Is it spoilers?
No, it's set to, these are reviews. It's set to open as the second highest opening in the franchise history.
Crazy.
A lot of the old cast members are, making their appearances and so on and so forth. It's not doing well in the review department.
Really?
At all, no. Benjamin Lee at The Guardian gave it a 3 out of 5, called it a scrappy, passable, entertaining new chapter that imps to the screen with wounds on show.
What?
Kristen Lopez, the film maven, gave it a D. She said, Scream 7 is certainly the worst in the franchise, and while an 8th installment seems like a foregone conclusion, everything about this is sloppy, inconsistent, and tired.
It's the first film that this writer directed, isn't it? I don't know if it's his first film.
No. This is done by Kim Wilson. This is Williamson. He's done every one of them.
No, I know he wrote, because it was John Carpenter and he died, right?
Oh, yes. This is Kevin Williamson's first directorial.
Yes.
Of it. Yes, that's true.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah. So let me see. We got Matt Singer on Screen Crush said, after 7 movies, Scream finally ran out of targets to skewer. That's kind of fun.
Yes.
Taylor Williams at Slant magazine gave it a 2.5 out of 4, saying, this surprisingly refreshing take on familiar material is unconcerned with meta discussions about where the film stands in the canon. That sucked.
I mean, that sounds like a good thing.
Hey You Guys by Linda Merrick said that the franchise deserves better than this half-baked attempt at a reboot. Plus, we actually liked Melissa Barrera. So just bring her back already.
I guess I'm out of the loop. I don't know who these people are.
Here's the synopsis. When a new ghost-faced killer emerges in the quiet town where Sidney Prescott, Neve Campbell, has built a new life, her darkest fears are realized as her daughter, Isabel May, becomes the next target. Determined to protect her family, Sidney must face the horrors of her past to put an end to the bloodshed once and for all. But it won't be once and for all, will it?
No, of course
No.
not. It'll just be until the next one.
That sounds like a shitty...
You and I watched a crime documentary
Synopsis.
of Scream movie copycat kids. It was a true crime documentary about kids who watched Scream and decided that they were going to try
Yeah.
and be
It was chilling.
tag team murderers on one of their classmates.
And they ended up like they had been prospecting several classmates. These would be like classmates that they didn't really like that much, or that
Yes,
they didn't
they
have a
were
relationship
they were
with.
doing exactly the thing that they do in Scream,
But then what happened
where they
was
target one and then they target another and then
they didn't
target
get what
another.
they wanted, so they ended up killing one of their friends because somebody had to die, and they ended up actually killing one of their own friends, filming her before she died. They didn't film the actual murder, but they filmed her before she died. She was at school, like putting books in her locker or whatever.
It was
and they're
really
like,
eerie. They made
Yeah.
video, like home movies, recording their entire criminal conspiracy.
Yep.
And then after, like when they ran into the car, they started filming themselves like giddy from having committed the crime.
bad.
I know, it was crazy. It was a super
bad.
crazy. They're called this. It was called the Scream Killings. What is it called? It's a really, really crazy documentary.
So here's the cast. Cast is Neve Campbell, Isabel May, Jasmine Savoy Brown,
Is Skeet Ulrich
Brown,
back?
Mason Gooding, Anna Camp, Michelle Randolph, Jimmy Tatro, McKenna Grace,
What these? Nobody knows these names.
Asa Germain
You
as
keep
Luke
running.
Spoden,
You're just making them up.
Celeste O'Connor, Sam Rechner,
Dale,
Mark Consuelos,
why are you doing it?
Tim Simmons, Ethan Embry.
Ethan Embry.
Yeah.
There's one that I recognize.
That's where I was going, baby. Ethan Embry
He's real far down.
as Marco, Joel McHale, Courtney Cox, and Roger L. Jackson as the voice of Ghostface.
Okay, The Scream Murder, a
It's
true
dir-
teen horror story TV miniseries.
What's interesting is that it's directed and written by Kevin Williamson and a guy named Guy Busick. Story by James Vanderbilt, Guy Busick.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to tell you something.
Hey, tell me.
The name of the documentary that we watched about
Yeah.
these real life copycat killers.
Yeah.
It's called The Scream Killers. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, Scream Killers. I'm telling you, it's on Hulu. It is chilling. I actually recommend it if you're into true crime, but it is absolutely chilling. Yeah, one of the killers, if you watch Survivor, he's like Rizzo.
He's not like Rizzo.
Yes, he is.
Don't make Rizzo famous. That's exactly what he wants.
Rizzo's already famous. Here we go with the reviews. In comparison, Scream got a 78% Rotten Tomatoes, the original. 2 got 83%. Scream 3 got 45%.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's so bad.
wipe it.
Did you see it?
I don't know that I did. I pretty much, I think I gave up after 2.
I think his 2 kind of sucked, and everyone was like, "I'm good."
I was good after 2. I was like, okay, so we're just going to keep doing this. Scream 4, 61%. Scream 2022 got 76%. And Scream 6 got 77%.
You say 22%?
No.
Oh. Anyway, shall we?
It's Scream 3 all over again, says a big fan. The biggest opening, bad reviews, and most expensive. Anyway, that's for you, Cosmic Urgency, because you're not here to enjoy it.
I feel like we're both so low energy tonight.
Yeah, well,
Is it because it's rainy?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm
supposed to be
listen, I'm
hibernating?
doing the best I can. John Davidson, apparently, this is by CC. John Davidson apparently has spoken and said it was discussed with BAFTA about accommodating his possible Tourette's gaffes, as he said it would embarrass not only him, might inadvertently harm others.
Oh, I saw the saddest thing. You know, this guy, John Davidson. Thank you, CC, because I had forgotten his last name. So John Davidson with Tourette's. You know, he's been participating in documentaries ever since he was young. Mm-hmm. But I heard him have a conversation with somebody where he was like, I went to a movie theater for the first time since I was a child. I was like 10 or 12 years old the last time I went to a movie theater. He's an adult in his 70s now, right? So he was like, yeah, the last movie that I saw in a movie theater was E.T. And he was like, I just had to stop going to movies because I was so disruptive. I was ruining everybody's experience. And I didn't want to offend anybody or make anybody upset. So he just stopped going to the movies forever.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's reasonable.
Isn't it sad, though? It's like there's no way to accommodate him and his disability. He has to just remove himself from society. It's super sad.
Yeah, I mean, it is. But those are the situations where I think that, you know, it is incumbent on them to accommodate the others because of the imposition that they bring to the situation.
Yeah, like, can you wear tape over your mouth?
Right.
I'm not recommending anybody does, but like, would that work?
A Tourette's muzzle is what you need. Yeah. It's like, you know,
just
get a Tourette's muzzle today. You know, we should just 3D print one and send it off to John Davidson, get him to put the John Davidson model. Watch as John Davidson stands around black people, totally simulated into the society.
Horrible.
Assimilated. Yeah, it's this. Look, I joke, but my heart goes out to him. I felt terrible for him. I think that BAFTA fucked this thing up on every level.
Absolutely.
There's no part of this that BAFTA did not fuck up. They couldn't have botched the whole thing worse. They just couldn't have done it worse. Besides having him right in the front row. Mm-hmm. And it's good to know that John Davidson was, because he was being criticized by people, well, at least one person that I read, perhaps others, but someone from the Tourette's, or claimed to be from the Tourette's community, who said that it was also his responsibility, knowing what they're like, look, we know what we do and what we don't do. So it was up to him to not put himself in a situation. He should have asked to be backstage. He should have asked to be on like watching on a monitor or whatever, and enjoyed the show that way. You know, that sucks when you think about it, because
I completely disagree. I mean, the guy, like, you can't just exclude people with disabilities from normal society.
That's
and
not what this person is saying.
When a film is made about him and it's there to win an award, and the guy who plays him actually won the Best Actor award.
Yeah.
It's just not fair to somebody to exclude them like that just because they have a disability. That's a situation where you invite them, you embrace them, you accommodate them. BAFTA obviously fucked up. But
this person's advice is that it was John Davidson's responsibility, not BAFTA.
Yes.
It was John Davidson's responsibility. So what they're saying is, like,
I understand,
he should have been accommodating, not them. Well, you keep going, well, he shouldn't be excluded. And they're not saying he should have been excluded. They're saying John should have excluded himself.
He shouldn't have excluded himself either. So maybe you and I are in disagreement about this, but I just feel like this is one of those times.
I don't have an opinion on it. Like, I think that he gets to make the choice. He should make the choice he wants to make. It's his moment and it's his life. And then BAFTA has to make their move in terms of understanding what that means as far as risk or whatever.
It's just crazy. Like, I don't know why they didn't anticipate exactly this happening. Like, it's a huge PR crisis for them, and it was completely predictable.
I can't believe that they missed it. Because that's weird. Where it seems so intentional, because they did Free Palestine. They deleted. I think actually somebody showed up I think Layla came back and I missed her. Sorry if I missed you, Layla. She said, but she said something like "Free Palestine." She shouted it out in the chat.
Yeah, because of the Steve Sarowitz situation.
I didn't get to read this because I was so fucking distracted. But Layla Kennedy, she said her and her friend went around London looking for Leo to sign the book, but they couldn't find him. They think he's gone. And she said, but we'll get it signed someday. And then she shouted out, "We must free Palestine." And they were able to on the BBC censor that.
Censor it.
Yeah.
I know.
But yet the BBC couldn't censor. So that's really weird. I don't know how they missed it. They said there was also, I read something that there was another slur that they caught or something that they actually did get.
I don't know.
It's just like, it's not fucking hard. How many of these do you have in a show? One. That's how many you had to miss. One. That's how many you had to fucking look for. One. And it's not a needle in a haystack. You're sitting there with fucking headphones on like you are right now. You're just sitting there listening. You can hear it. I heard it. Everybody heard it. And you heard it in the two. So you heard it. You also saw it because you saw, Lindo's fucking face, Delroy Lindo's face drop. You saw, Jordan fucking, become unsteady on his feet.
Yeah.
So, it's just all them. It's all the BBC. It's all, the BAFTAs.
I'm glad that people are pointing their derision at them now instead of this poor guy who can't control his speech or anybody else. It really was the broadcasters and the event holders' responsibility to manage it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys, sorry for this slow one. Hopefully we'll have a, much more, lively one tomorrow, but I think it was still fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourself nonetheless. I still hope that you'll come back. It has been really slow. The live has been really slow. Like we're not getting a lot of traffic, and a lot of our regulars aren't showing up, and I don't know, maybe people are getting sick of us. What we got to do is we got to start refreshing the show. We're going to have fireworks.
I think you're going to
maybe
have to
get
show
a band.
your tits.
We got to get a band. Show my tits.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what's missing. That's you want to get
I'm
famous.
56, dude.
You want to get famous? You're gonna have to show some skin, Dale.
Nah, you don't want it.
Yep.
Paper titties. You guys are wonderful. Sorry for all the crass talk. What's going on here? What is going on?
Yeah,
here?
whatever.
I love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope we'll be back on our usual one. By the way, for those of you who might be interested, pop in and join me for the write. I'm logging on right around 11 o'clock, and I'm staying around until near 2 every day. Those hours will increase after I've got a paid gig that we're working on right now. That's, it's just
Tomorrow
a paid gig.
you won't be those hours though. Tomorrow you won't because we have to leave the house.
Okay. So,
you don't know when.
Just have your notifications on your Patreon, and they'll let you know when I'm live. If you don't want to catch it live, I will be posting every one of them after the live for reruns. Looking forward to seeing. Yes, Sunday we've got it. We're planning Sunday. It's going to be fucking awesome. Looking forward to it as well. And that's going to be also, you have to look for your app for that because we are going to be doing live streams directly on to Patreon now, not through this channel. So that's kind of cool for us because it's like we got to organize this a little better. But you guys got to look for your apps to make sure you get that. And once again, it'll also make for an easy posting to the Patreon for the rest of you who want to catch posting for the rest of you who want to catch it in the replay. I got to get out of here because my lips are going to fall off. You guys are amazing. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.